Hi, I want to tell you about an experience I had this afternoon with one of my clients. Now, the town went into blackout as I was finishing off the client before, so we finished that session in the dark, but it was still reasonably light. The light was coming in through the window, but when the last client came in, this 14-year-old little girl, she came and saw me last week. Her mum brought her in with anorexia. Now, she'd seen psychologists, psychiatrists, nothing had worked for her. And so we did one session last week. She came back today and she said, I'm eating, I feel great. I went down to Sydney and competed in this event, and out of 105 people, I came 53rd, and I'm so proud of myself. I've had so many changes in this 1 week. And that is generally what happens when we're working with the right part of the mind. Because you see, any fears, any habits, any bad issues that we've got going on generally stem from those early years in our life, but they're all up here. If we can change what's going in that subconscious mind and we can start to see a future, everything starts to change. Now, anorexia is not about the food as a general consensus. It's about things being out of control, and the only thing that that person can control is what goes into their body, what goes into them. And so what we know is that if we can start to clear away some of the triggers, then we respond completely differently. And she did have a few fears and a few issues that were worrying her. So not only did she face those fears in the last session, she said, my whole week has changed. I've been eating, and I went and competed in an event in Sydney, and out of 105 people, I came 53rd, and I'm really proud of myself. Now, she's only 14. And what I want you to realise is anorexia is really nothing to do with the food. It's about that lack of control in those different areas of our life. When we can't control everything else, the only one thing that somebody with anorexia feels that they control is what goes into that body. And the body really is the connection to what's going on in your mind. And so what we did today was she came in, and within a few minutes, it was really dark. All my lights in my office had gone out. The only thing that was still glowing was the computer screen. And I said to her, don't worry, if that goes dark, we'll just turn the torch on my phone, because you're going to have your eyes closed and it doesn't really matter. You're dealing with what goes on in here. So as the session proceeded, we did some age regression. We found out where her triggers came from, and we cleared them. It's like pulling the switch out of the switchboard all the way along till you come back to the present moment when you realise, hell, I got through it all. And at the end of the session, she just gave me the biggest hug, and she said to me, I just feel so different. I feel like I'm free. So she's got one more session to go, and that will be forgiveness stuff. That will be getting rid of any unresolved anger or guilt. But I can already see the change in that little girl, and it's really a path to freedom. So what we know is that if we face our fears, they dissolve. And that's exactly what happened for this beautiful little girl. And she left my office with me walking down with a torch in my phone to get her down the stairs safely. And she went to a mum and just left really happy and ready to make her next appointment. And so what I know is when we face our fears, the lights come on. They come on in here, and then on my way home, the lights in the street came on as well. So nothing can defeat us. Everything serves us, and everything's a stepping stone to the next part of our life. And even those things that we just feel like are completely beyond our control, fear of the unknown, fear of the future, when we look back at all the things we've already overcome, we realise nothing can hurt us because we survived everything. And it really does build resilience, and it brings us back to the centre of our heart. And it helps us to really understand who we are and that we are good enough in every way. And no matter what the universe throws at us, we're never given any more than we can handle. Now, it was really interesting because I've got laryngitis too, if you haven't noticed. And I can talk underwater, even with laryngitis, and I can talk in the dark. And so just take a leaf out of this little girl's life and realise that we are indomitable spirits. We are resilient, and the things that we fear most of all really never happen, and that difficult times only make us stronger. So have a great night, guys. I just thought I'd check in and talk to you about it because it just inspired me, especially when I'm driving home and the lights came back on in the streets. So sometimes we're in the darkness, but the lights always come on. Have a great night, guys. Love and blessings to all.